reluctant to sending you something like that. I mean, it's a one of one piece, and collectors, they dig that. That's to have the one and only one of its kind sign. I mean, that's How many people would allow that to be signed?
And so for this gentleman, probably he'll hold that, and sooner or later, I'll join the.
Sure.
And he'll say, "Look," and it doesn't bother me a bit. Now, if you guys are interested in collectibles in the baseball world, then you should hit the website Heritage Auctions and just type in search for Ty Cobb, and you'll see that if you've got a 7, 8, or 9 graded T206, either green or black background, either a facial shot or bat off the shoulder or something, they get very expensive.
They do, yeah.
You'd have to get really, really good bonuses at the end of the year to say, I'm splurging. However, many people have these, and they have them in basically their savings accounts. Their safe deposit box at a bank, because the increase in Ty Cobb memorabilia and Babe Ruth memorabilia over the last 5 to 10 years has outgunned most investments you and I could make.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I respect that. My grandfather did not leave all of the kids 20 or 30 of these because he had no inclination that these things were going to develop. And honestly, he was so generous in giving his signature that I sat with him many times, like I described in my book, where he'd buy a 55-gallon drum of Major League Baseballs every twice a year, sign them, and send them out. So there are a lot of baseballs floating around. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to buddies from the town that I grew up in and said, Hershel, do you remember those 2 baseballs that your grandfather signed that we ruined playing baseball with? Yeah, I remember them. I remember them. Well, it was a different time.
Sure.
But anyway, that's with the collectibles. And it is kind of interesting to see what happens to the value of those and how people, they respect them and they covet them. They trade them, Once a PSA firm got into grading collectibles, then you establish a criteria by which you can say this is worth something because a professional has attested. However, you guys aren't old enough, but I have a friend my age. We grew up together, and Jimmy and I played all kinds of ball together in grammar school. And then in high school, I went to the local high school, and Jim's family was a bit more sophisticated, and he went to a very nice prep school in very near Santa Barbara by the name of Thatcher. It's a high-end school. And then he went to Yale, and then he went into the Marines. Then he came back to California and went and visited his parents and asked his mom where his baseball card collection was.
Right.
Jimmy, I threw that out years ago.
Oh, of course.
I mean, Jimmy had really, really great old original cards. So that has happened. I've heard that from a lot of people. If they had their childhood collection of baseball cards, T206s and whatnot, that they would retire early.
Sure.
That was it.
Yeah.
So, now, do you have a personal collection of baseball memorabilia?
I have some items. AJ asked if I would dig out my grandfather's scrapbook. Now, he had 3 scrapbooks during his lifetime, and he distributed them among myself and 2 other families that were cousins. So I have one, and I can show you a page. It's all original stuff, and I dug it out. I don't open it often because the pages are old-fashioned paper and they deteriorate. So I am going to leave this seat, grab it, it's right behind me.
Okay.
I'm going to open up a page that is pretty neat.
This is pretty cool.
You realize this is like history you're looking at live.
Yeah, this is really, really cool. Oh
my gosh, that is huge.
Yeah.
This is like a wizard book.
You guys maybe can talk.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Right now, Mr. Cobb is looking through this giant scrapbook that I asked him to dig up. It's about, 3 feet by 2.5 feet?
Yeah, it's huge.
Typical page.
Oh, my Lord.
Let me get a position where it'll show on the screen.
Wow.
Out of the scrapbook. And so I think 1 or 2 pages I've taken to a professional photographer with great digital equipment and had it copied and framed. And I have it around here somewhere. I don't remember where, but there are pages in here that are like this that are filled. The scrapbook is filled with them. Some of it is just sports writing, cartoons. I don't see, I hope this comes through, but you can see it's an old-fashioned type scrapbook and the pages deteriorate.